Good morning. My name is Matt Stavish, and welcome to another session of RCA Industry IQ. This morning, we're joined by Joe Young at GovConPay. Joe, tell us real quick why we need to get smart on your industry IQ.
Hey, well, thanks for having me, Matt. Really appreciate it. So here at GovConPay, we are the only payroll HR company focused exclusively on servicing the government contracting marketplace in the U.S. We started this venture as a spinoff of our parent company, Payroll Network, back in 2020, and are really excited about the opportunities that we're seeing to support this unique industry.
And that kind of rolls right into our first question. You guys are working exclusively with GovCon, obviously in the DC market. That's a big part of the industry here. Why is working exclusively with government contractors the niche that you guys have decided to focus on exclusively and not healthcare?
It's a great question, Matt. And, as I mentioned, Payroll Network, we've been around for almost 25 years as kind of the leading independent payroll provider here in the DC marketplace. And, not surprisingly, we came across and ended up working with government contractors, almost by happenstance, just because where we were. What really changed for us was back in 2015, we started to partner with some of the DCA compliant time and ERP systems and build some integrations with them. And that really grew, bringing some unique offerings to this marketplace. And then what interestingly happened as well is they had a lot of their clients, not just here in the DC area. Obviously, government contracting is big here, but it's not solely here. And next thing you know, we started supporting their clients in places like Huntsville, Alabama, and Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Southern California. And we really identified that there was a demand out there and a market that was being underserved by the national providers who just didn't understand some of their unique characteristics. And I think the turning point was at the National 8A conference in February 2020, and there's 1,300 companies there and 80 vendors, and we were the only payroll HR company there. And a light bulb went off, and I said, "Hey, people just aren't focusing on some of the unique needs," and that's when we decided to launch GovConPay.
And one of the really unique things about GovCon is how many young companies, someone comes out of government or industry, and then they come and they have a new company just out of nowhere, and that company grows really quickly. So what's the best piece of advice that a newer company should heed when evaluating a payroll and HR services as they're looking to get up and running?
Well, it's a great question. And I agree with you. I think one of the most exciting things and rewarding things we do is the opportunity to work with new entrepreneurs and emerging companies and to see them grow. And in this space, it can happen in such a rapid and exciting way. I think some of our proudest engagements are with companies. We did their very first payroll, and now they're 100 plus, 200 plus employees. But to your specific question, I think the most important thing is in our industry, people tend to focus on product. And I think the most important thing for an emerging young company is focus on process improvement. And what are the things you can do and put in place to make your processes more efficient? People get caught up in, feature and functionality, and let me see your demo. And it becomes this shiny object, and you get caught up with all the whistles and bells. The reality is, big secret here, most of us in the small, middle-sized market, our products all are 90% the same. It's really more about how they're deployed in a way to utilize those functions to make the job of the entrepreneur and their staff easier, more efficient, more compliant, and develop that platform for growth. I'm a big proponent, and we focus a lot on, I think implementation is way more important than feature and functionality. And that's the key and the kickoff to success. So focus on process, not on product. And I think that's the best first start.
And you kind of touched on it, in GovCon, this is the only industry where exceptional growth can be the rule. You don't see 50% growth at a non-GovCon company traditionally. So how does GovConPay support these rapid growth situations? What is the big strategic advantage that they can get working with you guys?
Well, I think the process part is a big part of it. I tell people, we put pay in our name of GovConPay because payroll is kind of core to what we do. We got to do that accurately, every couple of weeks, and we do that really, really well. But I find we're more in the HR re-engineering business, process re-engineering business than we are in the payroll business. And for rapid growth companies, what are those things that are really important to them, especially in today's marketplace? Hey, I need to find and attract new employees. So having an ability to support them with recruiting and onboarding new employees. Onboarding those employees, most of our government contractors, different from a lot of other clients, they have employees all over the country. They have them working on bases in government, government bases, government installations. And how am I now, especially in COVID, onboarding this very decentralized workforce efficiently without having to use paper? Compliance is such a huge part of this. So putting those infrastructures in place, again, to provide kind of that platform for that growth, I think is really the most important thing. And I think what we try to do with our clients, especially those emerging clients, is we're big proponents of crawl, walk, run. We're not going to come in and say, we have a really robust platform that can go from recruiting to performance and talent management, but you're a 25-person company or even a lot even smaller. There's some other core bedrocks you need before you get there. We're not going to sell those to you or recommend those to you. Let's get you going. Let's make sure you're getting the right people, you're compliant, and then we can add those things and help consult the client on the best way to use them so they can turn up that growth quickly as they need it and their needs change. The other thing that I think has really differentiated us from our competition too is we see ourselves as a part of the GovCon service provider ecosystem now. We're at the same events and conferences they're at. We work with other partners in this space that focus on servicing this marketplace. And Matt, Republic Capital Access is a perfect example of that. You focus on your niche in the finance world in the government contracting space. And I think we've been able to help a lot of our clients that say, hey, well, we have an issue that we want to grow internationally. Can you help us with 3 people we have in Afghanistan? We have partners for specialized products for insurance, service contract administration. So we've been able to bring in partners that we've actually developed relationships so we can seamlessly plug in that are outside of our core competency that helps meet the other needs that our government contractors have, but they didn't know where to go. I call it I got a guy strategy. So when a client calls us and says, I really need help with this, or, I'm having banking issues, I say, I got a guy. I know somebody you can talk to. And that added value, I think, has differentiated us and allowed us to really strengthen our relationships. And as we talked about, help our clients grow quickly and be successful, which is our ultimate goal.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's obviously in the GovCon community, it's so important to have, not having to have your client explain to you the alphabet soup of GovCon is a huge advantage and helps everyone move business along faster. And that wraps it up for this session of RCA's Industry IQ. We were joined today by Joe Young, president of GovConPay. I am Matt Stablish with Public Capital Access. Until next time, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Matt.